Welcome to the Body Wise podcast. I'm Beth Manning, and I'm a psychic healer and expert at reading the body and healing with energetics. I work with women who are eager to connect with their energy and lead from their soul in order to heal their body and step into the highest version of who they are. In this podcast, we go beyond the physical to explore how to shift your emotions, beliefs, and energy so you can heal your body, align with the highest version of who you are, and step into a more fulfilling, purpose-driven life. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm so happy that you're here. And today I want to talk about the difference between when something is truly a physical health issue and a spiritual awakening. So, a little bit of context here. This year has been a very intense year energetically. What's happening is that the universal energy, so the energy that we are all experiencing every day, is basically causing us all to start to ascend and to expand. So if you think about like when water expands, it takes up more space. Okay, so when this energy inside of our bodies starts to expand, starts to take up more space, it can be very, very uncomfortable, especially if our body doesn't have the capacity to hold it. And this is where the healing work comes in. This is where the energy work comes in, because that's what creates that capacity. But if you're just starting to experience this, or maybe this year just really like knocked you sideways in terms of how you're feeling, maybe you just haven't had much energy, you've had trouble sleeping, maybe more stress or more worry, some headaches, just feeling ungrounded, like you're a little bit spacey. And it can also present in the form of a diagnosis, maybe like an autoimmune or something that's kind of unclear that's going on in your body as to what it actually is. So these can all be signs of what's happening energetically right now for all of us. We're all really being pushed to grow and to expand. And the thing about growing and expanding is that we don't usually grow when we're comfortable. Growth usually comes from discomfort. So that's what this year has been a lot about, is really pushing us into this discomfort so that we can see where we need to grow, where we need to change. We don't really have much of a choice anymore as to if we're going to grow. We're being forced to grow. So I want to help you feel the best that you can in your body during this time of energetic expansion. And today I really want to investigate 4 ways that we think that something is a health issue, something is a physical issue. So I would define a physical issue as like something that we could solve with a physical therapy, a diet change, lifestyle change, medication, maybe an intervention for a disease like a chemotherapy or, some kind of a therapy to, quote, like cure us. Okay. But the problem is that these things aren't really working as well as they used to. Like a lot of times things, they might work a little bit or they might work in the short term, but they don't last in the long term, or something else pops up later. Okay, this is how a hip issue turns into a shoulder issue, or how one disease turns into another disease or another manifestation of the same disease. The problem is we didn't heal it to begin with. We can have these interventions that kind of tamp it down. It's not really in our awareness anymore because we're not having the symptoms. but it doesn't mean on an energetic level that it has healed. And the thing is that when it's the energy that's causing us to have more of these physical manifestations, these physical problems, the cure, the solution is not a physical one. The physical cure or solution or treatment is falling short a lot more because we're trying to treat an energetic problem with a physical intervention. And those two just aren't compatible. We need to treat like with like. We need to treat an energetic problem, an energetic imbalance, with an energetic healing solution. So I want to go through 4 ways that I've seen that, like, how to tell if you're having a true, like, physical health issue or if it's a spiritual awakening, okay, or a spiritual issue. And I say a spiritual awakening because what happens with this expansion of energy is that it's expanding us upwards. It's raising our frequency. It is causing us to vibrate at a higher frequency. And this can feel really uncomfortable, especially if we're more dedicated to the lower frequencies. So this is why I say spiritual awakening, because it starts to awaken aspects of ourself that maybe we weren't entirely connected to, or maybe you have been starting to be more connected to them and you're not really sure where to go from here. Okay. I don't really love the phrase dark night of the soul, so we're going to go with spiritual awakening. But essentially, this just means that things are waking up inside of you. Like, you are starting to realize that you are an energetic being, that you are a being that is connected to God, source, spirit, whatever you believe in. We're starting to ask these greater questions in our lives. We're starting to think about what else is there, what is beyond here. And things are starting to wake up in your body. Because essentially, what has happened is we have become disconnected from our creator, disconnected from this original source energy from where we all came. And we're not meant to be disconnected. We are meant to have that connection. So how can we tell the difference? How can we tell what's really going on? Well, it might be a spiritual awakening if you're not improving with traditional medicine. So if you're doing all the things, if even all the things seem to be working for a while for you, but there's been some backsliding, or there hasn't been lasting improvement, or maybe your vitality and your energy levels just aren't where you want them to be, the body is sending you this message through your spirit that something greater is going on. So that's really what symptoms are, because the body can't talk to you. It can't send you a text message like, hey, I got this thing going on. Maybe you want to pay attention to it. No, what happens is we develop a symptom. That's how the body cries out to us that something is wrong. And that's how the body starts to communicate this deeper energy with us. So the body, your spirit talks to you through your body. So another way is, so as our spirit is starting to awaken, as we're starting this expansion process, the things that used to feel good to you might not feel so good anymore. So this could be relationships, this could be the job that you're in, the career that you're doing, It could be who you're spending your time with, or even how you're spending your time, or like what you're talking about, what lights you up might change, and what interests you might change. And this can be very off putting at first because it can feel like this huge identity crisis of, well, who am I? Like, I used to love this thing and now I don't. Or I used to love to go out with these friends and now they're just exhausting me. Or this career used to feel good, but now, like, I just know that I'm meant for more. I just know that there's something bigger that I'm supposed to do, and it's not this. So it can feel like that real sense of being torn, and this sense that almost like your identity gets pulled out from underneath you, like you're searching for a new identity almost. And that's okay, because the thing is, right, we only grow in discomfort. So we need to have these periods of like, whoa, like that doesn't feel good. What is happening? In order to encourage us to look deeper, to start some of this inquiry, to start healing our bodies at this deeper level. So we need to have a catalyst. So this stuff is all okay if you're feeling it. I promise you, it's all okay. And it's all part of this larger journey and this larger path to unfolding and to awakening and to seeing life essentially in color. Like it's like you'll realize that, wait, I was really kind of seeing things like really black and white before, and now, wow, there's so much that's opening up before me. So something else that you might be feeling is that you are really seeking more time alone. Like it maybe being around people wears you out, or being around the wrong people, or small talk really wears you out. And you really just want time to yourself. And you might even be feeling like, wow, I just want to write, or I want to draw, or I want to, try this new whatever it is that you've, like a form of dance or a form of art or some kind of new self expression. Like you might feel drawn to things that you have never felt drawn to before. I remember when I started to work into my shamanic energy, like I had no clue about any of this stuff, but as I started to awaken some of this energy inside of me, I was suddenly like listening to shamanic drumming and more drawn to Native American things and things that had never really like interested me that much before. But now it was like, wow, I wonder what this is about. And I was picking up books and I was talking to people and I was exploring new things. So I really encourage you, if new things are coming forward for you, to just be super curious, to ask questions, to explore, to pick up a book that maybe you never would have read before, but now it's like, I wonder what this is about. I wonder what's in there. And seeking this solitude is okay. It's like society can label like people as the hermit or the introvert or whatever it is, but there is more of a need for alone time, and there is a need to go within, to maybe do more meditation, or to just really start to sit with yourself and feel what's going on. And this isn't you being secluded and going off and shutting out the world, right? For like, because we just get labeled different things when we seclude ourselves in society, but this can be a real part of your healing process. And plus, if when this stuff is really really starting to awaken in you, like there's a lot going on, and it can be super tiring. It can be very exhausting. Like maybe you want to sleep more, maybe you just need less stimulation in your life, and that's all okay. So the more that you can take this solitude, this alone time, it's going to help you to start to feel into that inner guidance, feel into your intuition, And your intuition might be speaking through the art that you're creating, or the dancing, or the music. So just going with it. Don't label it or judge it. Just see where it takes you. See how, because we express energy in different ways. And, some people, like, I'm a huge movement person. Like, I love to sing, I love to dance, play my guitar, play my ukulele, and like just, really outwardly express that way. But then I've also learned that I love to paint and, really can aesthetically use my hands to do things. So this is a beautiful time to get to know yourself at a deeper level. And the last thing that I want to touch upon is, like, oftentimes during this energetic awakening, you might feel a greater sense of skepticism, or like you're questioning what's happening in the world, or the truth that is being presented to you doesn't feel like the whole truth. So maybe parts of your body are starting to wake up to where maybe people aren't telling you the entire truth, or there are things that are happening in the world that just don't sit right with you, in terms of, I'm not talking about conspiracy theories and things like that. I'm talking about that things just don't seem to add up, that maybe you sense something different is actually happening versus what you're being told to think, or what you're being told is the truth. So those are some signs that this energetic awakening is starting to happen inside of you. That essentially, that your soul is asking to lead more than your mind. So when that energy of soul starts to lead, there's a shift in our body, and we start to really open up to that energy. And that's when we start to have these greater realizations, and just so much more starts to open up for us in our own reality. And we start to see ourselves in a new way. But it can feel very confusing at first. It can feel very much like an identity crisis, or, well, what has all this added up to? Who am I meant to be? What am I supposed to be doing? And so much of this starts by the physical body talking to us, by having an accident, an injury, a near death experience can bring this on. So a lot of times it's these big events in our life, or maybe having a death in your family. These can bring it on, but I also want you to think about this health crisis that maybe you're having. Is it really a health crisis, or is it a spiritual crisis? And that's where I ask you to take a deeper look inside of yourself to really feel into what's going on. So I have a freebie if you'd like to go a little further with this. It's a 12-day healing jumpstart, and it starts to look at all the ways that our beliefs, our mindset, our emotions, our energy, our spirituality all affects our health, and some things that you can do to start working with your energy right now, to start shifting it now. I'll post the link to that below. And if you would like to go deeper with this, if you are ready to really open yourself up at a deeper level, I offer 3-month private healing programs. And I have a special right now on them until the end of the year. So please reach out to me if that's something that is perking your interest. And I would love for you to share this podcast with other people. I would love for you to give it a starred rating or review. And I'm so grateful that you are here today, that you're listening, and that you're just involved in all of this. And I'm so excited for your journey ahead. So thank you so much for listening to the Body Wise podcast. and I will catch you next time.